Hi everyone, so today we are going to be talking about how the bricks are made, so local bricks. Bricks can be a little bit costly if you're buying them, so if you have the option of making them, it's perfect. So here we are in the southwestern side of the country near Lake Bunyonyi, and we've stopped at the point where the bricks are made locally, and I'm going to take you through the processes on how they're made. So you can either make bricks using sand mixed with cement, or the local way using loam soil or clay soil. So what we are seeing over here is the process that I'm going to take you through, how a brick is locally made using loam soil. What you do is the beginning stages are you dig up the soil, you pile it according to how much amount you want. So let's say you have you want to make 10,000 bricks or 20,000 bricks, so that the pile of soil you dig will depend on how much bricks you want to make. So what you're seeing over here, you dig them up, you dig the soil up, pile it, and then you mix it with water. So you'll ask yourself, how do they deal with water? Because water is very, very important in this process of making bricks. What do you do if you're in a place that is not a swamp where you can get free water, or there is tapped water? So if you don't have either of those, what we do is we tap in the rainwater. We get a lot of rainwater, free water. So if you're having your bricks made close to the road, very easy. You tap in the streams that are on the side of the road. When it's raining, there is water that flows on the side of the road like this. So you channel it into your reserve. So there is a reserve over there. You dig a hole, a very reasonable size of hole, so that every time it rains, water comes straight to your hole. So that's how we normally deal with water, because it can be hectic sometimes to go back and forth from the swamp or the tap. So what they already did here is they have already harvested the piled soil. So what happens is after piling the soil, mix it with water as you step on it. You mixed all the soil with water as you heap it in one place. After that, you cover it. You're supposed to cover it because that is the process. We feel like as you're digging the soil and mixing the water doesn't get to all the soil particles. So when you cover it, it gets soaked. So you can do that for some people do it for a week, other people do it for 4 days. So I normally do it for 4 days. So after covering it for 4 days, come back again and mix it up. So you get water, mix it up, dig it again. You mix as you step on it. You dig holes as you step on it. So you'll be having somebody with a water or a bucket or a pipe splashing water on the soil. You step on it as you dig it yourself. So you'll be piling. So in that second stage, it is getting there, like fully mixed. So you cover it again. This is the type of mold that we use to shape our bricks when we're making them locally using clay or loam soil. It's about 12 by 6 inches depending on the preferred size. Some people want to use a much smaller size or a much bigger size, but personally I would love a smaller size, because a smaller size gets burnt well. So a much bigger, little bit of a problem to do with it. So when the door is finally, I'll call it a door, the pile of loam soil that has been prepared, stepped on, watered like mad right now. So when the time reaches of processing our brick, what happens is you get a platform. It can be either at the lower size, like the case of what you're seeing here, or almost the knee size over here, or if you can get some wood and then you put it on the waist level. This form you're seeing over here is made just from a tree branch. So it's almost, I'm not very tall, so it will be in the waist position. So when you're making the bricks, this is where you put the mold, and then you throw in the mud as hard as you can. So this is easy for you to manage. So on the waist level, the impact at which you're throwing the mud, the soil in there will be much effective, and you don't overwork your back. So what happens is you have to have some water. So you have to get a jerry can. This is a jerry can. We use these to carry water over here. So you get some water, and then you put it on the board where you want, because you need this to be running smoothly. So after that, you get a piece of soil, the mud, and you have to drop it. You have to drop it on top. So this is wood. So you put the mold on top. Then you get a piece of mud. So this is pretty dry now. You have to drop it in here as much as you can, because if you don't do it, if you put it slowly, then there will be air spaces in the mud. So when the brick is drying, in the process of drying, like what you're seeing over here, so this is the process of drying. If it dries, it cracks because of the air you left in there. So this is a perfect example of what happens if you don't insert the brick very well. It cracks in the middle as it dries. So you have to drop it in as much as you can. If it's not enough, you grab another piece, you drop it in as much as you can. So by the end of the day, you'll be all muddy. I'll call it looking like a mongoose. So briefly, this is how this part is done. So after that, you have to, because this place is wet, you have to take it off, and then you lift it at once. So you go slowly. This is the handle. You hold it like this, and then you place it. You press it on the ground. You leave it. Come back. Repeat the same process again and again. So in the beginning, you press them in this form, like this. Overnight, you have to cover them with grass. So what you do is you go in the, you don't need to go very far. There is grass everywhere. So you cut it. In the process of you preparing the grounds, you'll be cutting the grass. You need the ground nice and flat without grasses. So that grass you've cut, it will be the same grass you'll be used to cover the bricks. The reason as to why you cover the bricks is because when it rains and you're not around, what is going to happen? The raindrops will damage the bricks. So if you cover them overnight, during the day you come and open. So this is a perfect example how it's done. So you open them during the day like that, and then after opening them, then you make them stand. So this also helps them to dry pretty quick. Yeah, so this is how it's done. So you cover them up so that when the rain comes, it just stops on the top. It doesn't hit them straight. Right. Yes. After the brick is made, the time varies at which they spend when they're drying. So the sun dictates here how long the brick takes to dry. Sometimes if the sun is really good, in 4 to 5 days it will be nice, but maximum is a week for it to be fully dry. So what you're seeing over here, there's little mounds that they'll put together. So that brick is now dry. So you pile them like this. So this helps you to create more room for the fresh brick. So after the preferred number is acquired, what you do is you keep them under a shade, and now at this time they're dry. So you build a small shed. This shed helps you helps avoid the rains to make them much wet. So this is a perfect example of a brick that is dry now. So this brick you're seeing right now, you can use it to build. Yeah, you can use this brick to build, but it's not very good long term. It will need you after 10 to 15 years to renovate and probably break down a few walls to replace them with other much stronger bricks. But what we do is we fire them or burn them, and this is the process that I'm going to take you through, how we burn them to make them much tougher and stronger for long term. 20 years, 30, 50 years, the house will be just fine. So after this, the preferred number has been acquired. Let's say you wanted maybe 20,000 or 10,000. If you feel like you're satisfied with that, then we can proceed to the next level where the pyramid is made. This is a perfect example to show you how the entrances are made. The number of entrances depends on how big the pyramid is. So if you have a pyramid of about 10,000 bricks, it will be like two entrances. But if it's more than 10,000 bricks, you'll need 3 of them. So this is how the entrances look like. It's see-through. So you'll have 2 people, one feeding from this side and then another feeding from the other side. So this is the first entrance. You'd have at least one person who will be controlling the 3 entrances this side, and then another person will be controlling the other side. So you have a clear view of this side. That's one entrance, and then another entrance is over here. Then the third is over here. So one guy will be doing the 3 of these, pushing here and there. Then another guy will be working on the other side. So you put the pyramid together, and to avoid heat loss, what we do, we get a few mud that we put on top like plaster. So you'll be throwing the pieces of mud to cover all the small holes that will let the heat escape. So after the pyramid has been put together, then wood by this time is ready on the site. The firewood you're seeing over here, they're huge logs. Huge logs would normally burn longer. So we don't normally use the small logs. So they will be packed on the side. So these will be worked on by 2 people, feed this side and the other side. So another perfect example right here. So we get some grass in there to stimulate the burning. So the grass you're seeing on top will help to serve it in case it rains. So this is being prepared. This is put on the entrance. So as they're pushing the wood in, they will push the grass in as well. So when they're firing it, it's easy to catch. So you will be putting firewood like the whole day. You keep putting. If it gets done, you pile them up. So after the full day, let's say in the evening, then you can seal these entrances off. You seal them off and let it burn overnight. So it burns overnight, it can burn overnight and the next day. So after that, you'll be coming to assess. The heat outside will be telling you what's inside. If it is less, then you will know now it is cooling down. So after you open it up, not from the bottom, you have to start on the top. So you get the bricks from the top as you probably for selling or the house construction, all that kind of stuff. So basically that is what we go through when we are making bricks locally using loam soil or clay soil. So you can ask yourself, how did Hassan manage to learn how to make bricks? Well, I'll say it's COVID, because being in a tourism business, my sector was hit hard. 6 months down the road, we were still at home. I'm not a kind of a person used to being at home all the time, like the whole month. So I had to think of something to do with my hands. So I linked up with a few neighbors, because I have a few neighbors who are already doing the bricks. So I talked to them. They said, you have a piece of land. You can do something on it as you wait for work. So that is how I ended up digging and molding and burning, and I'm loving it.